What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Today we're going to go over another God roll guide for y'all for those Pale Heart weapons with the bold endings. This is one of those new heavy burst, or I should say like our second heavy burst hand cannons. That's that 2 bursts that does a lot of damage in my opinion. Our other one is the Warden's Law that comes from those Nightfalls, so this is a little bit easier to grab, and in my opinion does some crazy work inside of the PvE realm. Not as good in the PvP side, but we're going to cover both those god rolls for you guys. As for the origin trait on this, we got that dealer's choice, which I do really like, especially when we got multiple weapons of the Pale Heart on with this. So final blows with this weapon grant small amount of super energy. Equipping multiple weapons from the Pale Heart increases the effect, so allows us, especially in the PvE realm, to get our super back pretty quickly, especially when we have 3 of these on. So love this origin trait. Now when we move on to the PvE realm, like I said, this thing feels really good, especially pairing with something like Stasis Hunter, using unlucky pants in the gameplay, but it was able to dap up a lot, especially with those headstone on this weapon. You can go Firefly as well for that add clear potential, but we're going to cover what I think is the best overall. So first off, I would go with stability as your masterwork. You could go with reload if you would like, but I personally like that extra little bit of stability on this, getting our range and stability both at about 60. Onto barrels, I personally went with corkscrew, gives us range stability and handling, the jack of all trades for the PvE realm right here. Definitely felt the best overall, like I said, trying to get that range and stability maxed out at about 60 overall. Magazine, you got 2 choices right here. First off is this tactical mag, like this a lot, gives us increased stability, reload, and magazine size. You can see we got 24 in the mag on this bad boy, plus it is that nice stats, like I said, 60 in range and stability. Our other option is appended mag. We get 26 in the mag instead of 24, but we lose a little bit of that handling and stability on this, so that's why I usually go with tack. As for our 3rd and 4th column, got a couple different options for y'all. The first one that I really like is headstone right here with precision final blows, grant us stasis crystals, gives us improved stability as well. Feels the best, like I said, on this weapon, especially pairing it with the stasis synergy and that facet of command with prismatic. We're able to get some slow freeze explosion on those stasis crystals, which is beautiful. If I'm being honest, in this 3rd column, loose change is not a bad option as well. Applying an elemental debuff to a target increases this weapon's reload, aim assist, and movement while ADSing for an improved duration. Not a bad trait at all to have on, especially with something like in the prismatic class, and with that Firefly, get some debuffs on those targets as well, so a good little combo. Last option for me in this 3rd column is attrition orbs right here, dealing that sustained damage, creates some improved orbs of power, so we're able to get back our super a little bit faster on top of the dealer's choice origin trait that we have. Plus we like those attrition orbs just in general when doing lucky pants, stuff like that, to get some really crazy DPS plus those orbs of power. 4th column, first option, which I think is the best overall, does the best in lower content as well as that end game content, so we're going to go with desperate measures. Final blows with the weapon grant us damage for an improved duration. Melee grenade final blows also give us a large stack, so allows us to do some more consistent damage at that end game, like I was saying. Plus, like when we're using that prismatic subclass, being able to ability spam seems to be super easy, so desperate measures is my #1 choice. That other option is that dragonfly, like I was saying, though, precision final blows, this with headstone or this with loose change is pretty good because that elemental damage explosion. Also we get improved reload on this, so stability, reload of headstone with this, not a bad option for that lower tier, especially because of the add clear potential, but that's why I went with desperate measure overall, because it feels better in that end game content. Last option for PvE in this 4th column, we got collective action with that headstone specifically and that stasis subclass. We're going to be creating a bunch of those stasis shards around, so we're going to get that nice improved improved damage on this by collecting all of those, so definitely a good option. But like I said, Headstone mixed with Desperate Measures, better for endgame. Headstone mixed with Firefly, very good at that ad clear and the beginning early game stuff, but no worries there if you go with the other perks. Would give this, especially in the realm with Lucky Pants, probably about a 4-2, 4-3, just like Warden's Law, goes in a very specific slot in my personal opinion. I like those single shots a little bit better in a lot of the situations just because of the range on this. Feels like it's a little bit off in both PvP, PvE side of things, so definitely would go a little bit lower, like I said, about a 3-3, 3-4. Now when we move on to PvP, not as many options in the third and fourth column. Again, like I said, don't really like this in PvP. Definitely not compared to like our 120s. Literally are so much better than this, but you can get some pretty good shots on this with how we have it built out. Having this at that 75 range feels a little bit better. So we're going to go with stability again inside of that intrinsic trait for our masterwork, because it does bounce around quite a bit as a 2-round burst, but you could go with range if you really want to stack this all the way up to about 85 and 90, but totally up to you. First column, go with small bore. In my personal opinion, range and stability both at +7 on this. Hammer forged rifling gives us +10 in range, so it would only crank us up 3 more than we normally would have, so I go with small bore for sure. Second column would go with accurized rounds in this for the range, giving us that about 75-80. Like I said, feels the best to compete with other hand cannons in the Crucible. Two Pain is our first option in the third column right here. Well, this weapon is equipped taking damage, increases handling and aim assist until it is stowed, so it is nice inside of the Crucible, especially if you're using this consistently without switching on and off between this and your sniper, whatever you are using shotguns. So good PvP perk for sure. Third column, other options, strategist. I do like final blows generate us some improved class ability, so it allows us to spam our dodge a little bit more often. Very, very good trait for especially things like that Threadling Hunter, or if you're using your Rift a bunch as a Warlock. So love this thing for sure. Plus it gives us a little bit extra stability after we use that class item. Fourth column, got two options for you again. First off is our moving target right here. Increases movement speed and improved target acquisition while moving, while ADSing. So very good, because you're always moving inside of the Crucible, in my opinion. If you're not, definitely would go with our second option, but moving target is what I like the most. Your last option is that Eye of the Storm, becomes more accurate and boosts handling as our health gets lower. We get a little increase to that stability as well, so a good PvP perk. But again, this thing as a heavy burst, if you're hitting your shots, absolutely daps those Guardians up, but with the bounce on the dual burst on that second shot, tends to miss the head depending on the accuracy stability of the gun. Plus, if you're getting flinched by that enemy, definitely cranks up the possibility to not get those headshots back to back. So that is why I personally like the 120s, 140s as the single shot. I would give this about a 3 in the Crucible overall, maybe even a little bit a 2.8. I personally am not a fan of Warden's Law or this in the Crucible. I think it's just that heavy burst. But if you're going in there with this roll and dapping people up, you'll have to let me know. I do like the roll on this better than the rolls on Warden's Law for PvP. But overall, these bursts are definitely better for the PvE realm, in my opinion. So thank you guys again for watching. Truly appreciate you guys. I will catch you guys in the next one. Don't be afraid to like and subscribe. Helps me out, helps the channel out. Plus, y'all can get those nice notifications if you slap that bell as well. So appreciate you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.